Yes.
Hey, what do you mean by a self-paced course?
Well, the course material is available in the form of video lectures. And there are multiple practice problems that come along as well. So, you can access all of it anywhere, anytime. And they are available to you for lifetime.
No way.
Oh, yes, way. Don't delay and enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hi everyone, good morning and sorry you're late. I hope I'm clearly audible and clearly visible. Can someone give me confirmation? Am I clearly audible and visible so that we can start with the session now? Okay, I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. Yes. Okay. Right. So we can start. So guys, I'd be reading your comments on my phone. So there'd be a little lag. Okay, there'd be a little lag between me replying to your chats and me actually answering them because again, as I mentioned, there's a little lag. Without further ado, let me present the full screen. Yes, and let me share the screen as well so that we can start. Share screen. That's yes, perfect. Okay. So in yesterday's class, we were also discussing about data science, right? The roadmap for data science. And I hope you were there in the yesterday's class, right? What we discussed, let's do a brief summary. We discussed about the entire roadmap. We discussed about what exactly the important steps and the key things that you need to learn to actually excel in data science, right? Initially, we talked about the entire timeline. We talked about the entire timeline, that how it actually started. So, to give you just a brief introduction, I'll again revise those concepts. Around 1850s, the idea of AI came into picture, right? Around 1850s, AI came into the picture. The idea of AI came into the picture with the idea that machines can get smart, right? The machines can get smarter. So we can implement those tasks to machines. We can give all those tasks to machines so that human do not have to work that much. Perfect. First idea. Around 1950, around 1900s, still the idea of AI was continuing, right? With no solid grounds. Around 1950s, we got our first solid ground. We implemented the machine learning models, the ML models. They worked on statistical machine learning things. So we understood that we use the mathematical concepts. If we train the model on those mathematical concepts, then it can actually understand all these things in a much more better manner, and they can predict the value for us, right? They can predict the value for us. That was the case that we thought. Around 1990s, I'd say around 1990s, machine learning came into production. Around 1970s also, Harvard created its world's first self-driving car, right? Good morning, Rohan. Good morning, Rahul. So they created its first self-driving car, and in there machine learning was used. Okay. Around 1990s, as I mentioned, machine learning was came into production. So we started using machine learning into several models, and we started implementing them in different models, and we tried to implement them as much as possible. Around 2006, deep learning came into production. Now, if I talk about the era switch that happened from 1990s to 2006, one big factor was, as we talked yesterday as well, that during that time period we had internet cafes emerging. So whenever we had to play some game, we had to operate on a machine, we had to use computers and play games or whatever you want to watch movies. We just went to those internet cafes, paid for an hourly rate, and we utilized those things. By the later term 2006, what happened is smartphones came starting into production, right? So not everyone, but people started having these smartphones, right? Now during that frame, that was one of the things that we switched from a different era of an internet no internet era to an internet era, and we initially started having smartphones as well. But During that time phase, one or more thing happened, that was we transitioned from traditional CPUs to GPUs, right? Now GPUs are much more faster, and right now I even have TPUs, right? So these are the things that have transitioned. Perfect. Around 2010, we had big data. Around 2016, we got the first model of ChatGPT, but we heard about them in the COVID, right? And then 2025, we have heard about DeepSeek and we have heard about Kimi.ai. That's the entire transition, right? That was the first thing that we learned. Second thing that we learned was the entire structure, right? So you have AI, and then we had ML, and then we have deep learning, and then we had generative AI. Now today we're going to talk about the generative AI portion. Perfect. Without further ado, let's start with the slides. I hope the Josh is high. I know it's a Monday morning and it's a Monday morning, but still I hope the Josh is high, right? So, a little introduction about me. Also, I given an introduction yesterday as well. My name is Ashwin Singh, and I'm a data science faculty here at Geeks for Geeks. Okay, and I've handled multiple batches, both uh, in the offline training as well as the online training, as well as the selected student training. Some individual who are working professionals also have trained them as well. Then I've collaborated with multiple company projects like Accenture, Salesforce, right? And that's my entire attitude. So I've been working in this field for 2.5 years. Half years I was as a data analyst, and then for the rest I was a data scientist. So I've seen the transition that has happened between in this field. One thing about this field is that you need to be having an appetite to learn, because again and again new things are going to emerge out in this technology, right? So you should have an appetite to learn, otherwise you're not going to survive in this industry. Very plain simple. New technologies that are coming to picture, you should have an idea and should have an appetite to learn them. Perfect. And try to implement those tools on your own. Now we're going to talk about the introduction to machine learning and generative AI. Perfect. Now again, as we talked about yesterday, we talked about this entire thing. So this is the concept of artificial intelligence. Then further we had machine learning. Inside that we had deep learning as well, right? And then we had data science. So data science is a subset of AI. As I mentioned, these three portions are focusing on actually creating the things, right? These three are actually focused on creating these new things, right? Whereas the field of data science and all, they are more focused for utilizing these things. So whatever they have already built, they're just utilizing these things. The data science is actually utilizing these things. It's a subset. Whatever model they have built in machine learning and deep learning, we directly just import them and use them as a data set, and they will help you to train and test the data and do all the functionality that is possible. Perfect. Inside it, there is generative AI. Okay. Now, first of all, what is the difference between your traditional AI and your generative AI? Do you know the answers to it? What's the difference between your traditional AI and your generative AI? Can someone give me an answer in the chat box? What's the difference between traditional AI and your normal chat box? Looking at your chats, guys, give me the difference between what's the difference between traditional chatbots, traditional AI, and your generative AI. What's the difference between them? Anyone? Okay. Someone has replied. AI is traditional and Gen AI is new. Okay, but that's not the clear distinction. Generative AI can give solutions based on the detail you provide it to it. Okay, that's also one of the answers. I'll give you the perfect answer for it, and that's very simple to understand. AI can predict, Gen AI can generate. That's the entire difference altogether. So, AI can predict, Gen AI can generate. That's the only source of differentiation and distinction between them, right? So your traditional AI algorithms, whatever they were doing, they were learning from the data set, and based on that, yeah, it is in the back of my got it. So it's there in the what's happening is that these traditional AI models, they already had these things, they already had these kind of models, and uh, we were training them. So based on that, we are training them, and they are giving a certain output. Now I'm giving a totally new entry. Based on that, they are predicting that this could be the possible answer. Your traditional AI. Whereas if you're talking about the generative AI, they are there for generating the new content altogether, right? Moving on. So let's talk an introduction to Gen AI. Gen AI is an artificial intelligence capable of generating new text. Now, it is generating new text, it is generating new videos, it is generating new images all together. That's not even existing. Okay, that's the concept of generative AI. Moving further, what is happening here is nowadays what is happening, we are bound to LLM models. We are addicted to these LLM models. If I'm talking about chat gpt, you all are addicted to chat gpt. You have even the slightest of the problem, you're just going to chat gpt and entering your inputs, and chat gpt is there to help you out, right? That's the thing. So we are bound to these LLM models. Now, what is this LLM you'd say? LLMs are large language models. These chat GPT and all these things work on this generative AI model. And these are your LLM models that are large language models that are going to reply to you based on the problem statement. Okay. Now, what's happening is if I again go back to my traditional methods, this is your traditional methodology that we are following. One is pneumonia and no pneumonia, right? This is your traditional 1 and 0, 0 and 1, pneumonia, no pneumonia, diabetes, no diabetes kind of prediction algorithms, right? This is your initial AI models, your AI models, normal AI models that are used to predict the thing. Now, what is happening here is you either have pneumonia or you don't have pneumonia. How it happens is I give 10,000 images of no, I give 10,000 images of pneumonia patients. Based on that, it learns that okay, because of this and this or whatever it is using, whatever metrics that we are using here to determine that it has pneumonia. Based on that, suppose I'm saying because of this and this rib cage, the person can be determined that it has pneumonia, right? And based on these, suppose these are your features, these features, you can understand that the person is suffering from pneumonia. Then what is happening is I'm giving 10,000 images of no pneumonia patient that are completely healthy. Again, it has certain photos. So now it can actually understand that okay, because of these things that I was taking, that was wrong. Because of only these two parameters, a person has pneumonia or it does not have pneumonia. Something like that goes behind the algorithm. Now, that's not the perfect example to it. That's just an intuitive way of telling you to how exactly you can understand that what exactly is the mind that goes behind these kind of algorithms. So based on that, it can easily understand that yeah, okay, this guy has pneumonia and this guy does not have pneumonia. Perfect. Now these are your basic projects that you build when you first learn about these models, right? So pneumonia, no pneumonia, diabetes, no diabetes, and there were few more elements to it. So just 1 and 0 kind of problems, yes and no problems. Okay, these are your basic problems. Moving on. Again, what is happening here is that you have Gemini as well. You have Gemini, Chat GPT, Knock, and you have different kind of models. You have BERT, you have what are different. You have DeepSeek, you have Kiwi.ai. All these models they are for you. What they are doing is they are just doing anything and everything that we are asking you for. So here I've given a prompt that suppose I want to mail something. I want to mail to an individual that this based on this certain pattern. I want to create a mail from them, and I have to send this mail to so suppose my manager uh, or my colleague or to an HR or wherever it is. Whatever mail I'm asking it to generate, it is generating to me on the go. What is it doing? It is generating new content on the scratch, from the scratch, based on certain references that it has taken in the past. This is your generative AI. It is generating new content altogether. Right. Next. This is the image generation. So what is happening here is Hulk meditating. So I've given it a prompt that Hulk is meditating. Now, this is the kind of new images that are being generated, right? We don't have this idea altogether. If I give this task to a graphic designer, he'll have to research it for a few days. That okay, this is how Hulk looks like. This is how people look like in meditation. So when I've given it a prompt like Hulk meditating, it is understanding that it has to be in a serene place. So it is showing waterfall and all. It's in a green place, and Hulk is sitting. There's a certain posture that you sit in when you're meditating, right? You fold your legs all together, and then you have your arms on your foot. You have your arms on. You have your hands on your arm, on your legs, and all these things. So it is understanding all these things, and it is creating that on the go, right? Now if I, again, just a fun activity. Okay, just a fun activity. If I do this, this is your chat GPT. Perfect. And if I go to the model search of, if I search for different GPT models, your GPT 4.5 as well, that is emerging out. So this is the perfect version right now. So this is the uh, premium version of it. Let me just explore GPTs, and that too I want to explore which one I want. I want DALL-E. So DALL-E is the initial model of ChatGPT to actually build these kind of things. Now, give me the wildest prompt that you have. Give me the wildest prompt that you can think of. Any prompt. Like just give me key elements of it, and I'll start making the prompt. Anything out of the blue. Just keep it on. Just keep it censored as well. Okay. Give me the wildest prompt in your chat box. Waiting for your chats. Image of a zebra. Okay. Create me an image of a zebra. Anything else? This is very plain. Okay. Running chai. Okay. Sitting on top of elephant. Okay. Sitting on top of an elephant. Running chai. Okay. Let's take sipping chai. Or yeah, sipping tea. Give me something more. Something more. In space. Okay. In space. Anything else? Elephant eats sugarcane. Alright, this is just an abstract idea. You can give any prompt that you want. And just we are creating this visual out of the blue. Okay, in space. On Saturn. Okay. In space. On Saturn. Let me add some new few elements from my side as well. On Saturn, looking at Earth. Right. Trump traveling in space. Who text? Okay. Where right next to it. I don't think Donald. If I give the example as Trump, it will just it will give me a censorship because of that. Okay, so I'll just give it like a person is traveling in a SpaceX, in a spacesuit, I'll say. Again, SpaceX is spacesuit in space, right? This is a very precise prompt. If I give an output to it, it has certain elements like create an image of a zebra in an alternative universe. Okay, is it perfect according to the prompt that I gave? Create an image of a zebra sitting on top of an elephant. Zebra sitting on the top of an elephant, sipping tea in space. Okay, sipping tea in space, that is also being given, right? And then looking at Earth. Okay, I am assuming this is Earth. This is Saturn right next to it. Where right next to it is a person is traveling a space suit in space. So there's a person traveling with them right next to them in space. This is a perfect image. You can say that, yeah, these are your perfect images that it has created. Now, if I ask it to, I can give another prompt as well, like create it in anime style. I can change the style as well. So what you are doing right now is you were creating these Ghibli style images, right? So you can change the type of it as well. So created an anime style. So animation style, I'm creating that now. Right, so this is the animated style it has given. You can create the Ghibli style as well. You can add abstract, you can add uh, 35, cubism, dawn, and all these things. Now, the idea that goes with it is that if I create a similar kind, they'll start on looking at the yeah, perfect, right? So the idea that goes behind is that if I asked a normal person or I ask a graphic designer to create this kind of image, they will have to take references from multiple places. They'll have to adjust it accordingly, that it is in space, it is in Saturn, and all these things, right? It have to they have to install it in that place. One thing, they have to research a lot, and all these things have to be done, and they'll take certain amount of time for it as well. They'll take, suppose, uh, 5 days to 6 days to actually work on it, right? And the team would be working on it, then only the certain individual can do the certain thing. But what is happening here is within seconds, I gave the prompt, and then within seconds, it has created this entire thing for me, right? So that is the thing. Okay, that is the entire thing that we are following. Now, if you have the idea of it, what was happening was you guys were creating these Ghibli images, and from the director of the Ghibli images, he was giving a statement like, "This is the extinction of art, and the art is being not respected, and all these things." Right? We have all seen that. So this is the case that is happening. But let's move past that. So in summary, what is generative AI? Generative AI is a field that is able to generate new content altogether. Perfect. It is able to generate new content altogether for us. Right. Okay. Now let's check the evolution of GenAI. Okay. When I'm talking about the evolution of GenAI, you'll already have certain idea that what exactly is the thing, because in the earlier modules we have already talked about it. Okay. We've already talked about how it actually evolved. Now, the first thing is that we had the statistical machine learning. Okay, this was the simple features where you have an area and you have a price. You have an area and you have a price. Based on that, it can actually predict that, yeah, for 3400 area, this is the price. For this area, this is the price. So it understood the relation between area and price. Now, based on that, if I ask it to give an area of 9,000, it can predict me the value that this would be the value that there would be existing. Done. After that, we transition to neural networks. Now, in this neural network, what is happening is here we actually had the GPUs and all. This is a portion of deep learning, right? So it has, if I'm giving 10,000 images of a cat, so it is understanding that, yeah, this is a cat based on its whiskers, based on its ears, based on its nose, legs, and all these features. It is passing that through several layers. And finally, it is learning that, yeah, this is a cat. Similarly, I'm giving 10,000 images of a dog as well. Okay. Again, through its tongue, through its eyes, through its ears, through its whiskers, legs, tail, it is understanding that yeah, this is a dog. 10,000 images, and based on that, it is learning all these things. So once it has learned all these things, then it can even bifurcate that yeah, this is a cat and this is a dog itself. All these things are done. So these are your complex feature, your complex problem statement that is being done in very easy in this manner. Perfect. Next, if I talk about your models, right, this is the thing that we have done. Initially, we talked about statistical machine learning, that was your basic simple steps. Then you have your neural networks, right, that was your deep learning portion, neural networks. Further, after that, we transition to recurrent neural networks. Now, what exactly is recurrent neural networks? Let's try to understand that as well. What is happening here is I'm translating it. So from Spanish to English, it is writing you are very well, and suddenly it is writing you are very baby shower. Right? Again, you are very well, and suddenly it is writing baby shower. And we have seen these kind of things happen in real life with us as well. Right? So what's the general idea that goes behind it? What's the general idea that goes behind it? This is where the concept of RNN actually takes place. Okay, this is the concept where RNN takes place. Now, recurrent neural network. What exactly is this? Let's try to understand that as well. This is the concept of RNN. The concept of RNN is that RNN they transition into the learning phase as we are learning, right? What they do is right before what they were learning, they're not going to forget all these things. They forget the memory of the past. No, they just remember that memory, and whatever they have learned right now, and whatever they already have memory of the what they learned in the last time, they try to merge it together. They try to merge it together. Okay, they try to merge it together. So once it is being done in that manner, it can merge these things together. It tries to indulge both the technologies together and tries to make a new reasonable output for it, right? So let's understand that in this case. So is Java preferable at the start of the journey in AI? Not exactly, Chaitanya. I'll tell you about what exactly which programming language has to be done. Okay. So an agent coming into picture, these are the pillars, and these pillars have certain information. Like this pillar has information of I, this pillar has information love, this pillar has information eating, this pillar has information pasta. Now it is transitioning. So it goes to the first pillar, and here it learns the word I. Then it transitions, and here it learns the word love. Right? It is following in this pattern. So what is happening is initially it goes to this pillar, it learns the word I. Now it tries to make sense that what exactly is I. It's not understanding it, right? No worries. It moves further in the picture. Here it learns the word love. Now it remembers the word I. It remembers the word love. It tries to make sense. I love something. What? It's not understanding it. So it's again storing that in the reserved place. So I love is being stored. Further, it moves in the picture, and here it learns the word eating. Now it tries to make sense. I love eating. I love eating what? What exactly is I love eating? Perfect. Right. So it has that idea in its mind. Finally, it moves towards the last pillar and learns the word pasta from here. Now, it indulges all the idea and tries to mix them together. So I love eating pasta. Now it is perfect. Now it understood the entire meaning of what they wanted to say. That is, I love eating pasta. Right? This is the concept of recurrent neural networks. They don't forget the memory that they have. They just try to implement that memory and try to indulge it together. Perfect. If I show you again a simple translation, this is a translation from English to Hindi. Okay, and the title is I love you. Perfect. So in English, it's I love you. And if I see that the entire translation in Hindi, what is it? It's मुझे तुमसे प्यार है. Correct. So the translation of I love you in English is मुझे तुमसे प्यार है. Right. But if I see the literal translation, that would be I would be मैं, love would be प्यार, you would be तुम. So it would be मैं प्यार तुम. But it is writing मुझे तुमसे प्यार है. This is the concept of RNN. This is the exact concept of RNN. They understand the concept, they understand the meaning, and with each word they try to make sense as well. So this is your language models as well. These are your language models where actually interpretation of these things is very necessary. Got it? Now let's talk about auto-completion. How exactly auto-completion is. And where exactly have you seen the concept of auto-completion? You've seen the concept of auto-completion in places like your Google when you're writing something, or mail. If you're writing something, you have certain option to auto-complete it. Or on your LinkedIn's, if someone is messaging you out there, right? So you can directly message them back using this method. That yeah, this is the way of doing that. Right. So in LinkedIn as well, you have certain options that if someone writes hi, you have options like hi, hey, where are you? What are you doing? I'm fine, something like this. Right. So you have these options right next to it. Got it? So let's see how exactly auto completion also work. So suppose you get a message from someone that hey, we have a potential collaboration opportunity. Do you have time to talk? You're double, right? And you replying to Angela. Angela, thanks for, and then auto completion comes into picture. Now auto completion will have certain options like Angela, thanks for reaching out to me, contacting me, giving me the opportunity, and you're a pickle. These are the four options you have right now. Okay. Which option are you going to pick? Obviously, you're not going to pick you are a pickle, right? Because no one says that. It's just that in the top three, it's something that you're going to use. Either reaching out to me, contacting me, giving me the information, giving me the opportunity, or you're a pickle. Now there are not only four options, there are n number of options present there. Okay. It's just that right now four are being presented to you. Got it? So with each number, with each answer, there's a certain numerical value plays in front of it. This is your weights. This is the weights that are associated in front of them. So the higher the value of the weight, the closer it is to one, the most probable it is the answer. So Angela, thanks for reaching out to me is the most highest weight. So it would be presented right next to it. Thanks for contacting me is also very good. So it is 0.90. Giving me the opportunity is 0.87. And your pickle is 0.20 because no one replies that. Right. People start using me contacting me more. Angela, thanks for contacting me. The weight associated with it, the numerical value would be increased. And if it's increased greater than 0.97, then it would be the auto completion that we get. That's the concept of auto completion. Okay. So language model is an AI model which can predict the next word or a set of words with a given sequence of words. I told you this before as well. Now let's talk about this GPT-4. GPT-4 has 175 billion. Okay. This is the input layer, this is the hidden layer, and this is the output layer. Right. The input layer has certain things like weight and height. Okay. So what is happening is based on this weight and height parameter, I'm predicting the gender of an individual. Perfect. Now I'm taking this weights. Okay, weight one, weight and height. And based on that, I'm passing through certain weights. Through these weights, W1, W2, W2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm passing these values in the form of weights to these hidden layers. Now, obviously, they would have a data set that already has the information for input layer for taking the input of weight and height, and based on that, it is predicting the gender. There's already a data set that is working on it. The models are already there, and they're actually giving you the actionable output. It's just that all of these is being done in the hidden layers. That's the reason. The weight, the input layer, the input is being transferred through different weights to the hidden layers. And in the hidden layer, they're doing all the computation. And further through these parameters, W5 and W6, they are getting to the output layer and predicting as the gender. So through these weights, W1, W2, 3, 4, these are different parameters. Weights that are transferring this to the hidden layer. Hidden layer is doing all the computation through W5 and W6 parameter. We're getting the output, that is the gender of the individual. Now, for this particular good piece of case, we had six parameters, six weights that were being used. W1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Six parameters were used. Okay, and this is a pretty good solution. If I'm talking about GPT-4, GPT-4 has 175 billion parameters like these. 175 billion parameters. Just try to imagine the scale it is working on. How many input layers, how many hidden layers, how many output layers, and what kind of relations that they're developing, right? This is GPT-4. Your transition from GPT-4 to GPT-4o. 4o has around 230 billion parameters, and we have 4.5. I don't know the parameter limits for that as well. So that's the reason these things are getting more and more complex. The more and more complex that they are getting, the more fast and more accurate that they are getting. Perfect. Now let's talk about the final stage that we have reached. You have your basic statistical machine learning. Then you actually transition into neural networks. These are your neural networks, okay, that we have learned. Then we transition to recurrent neural networks. You have different recurrent neural networks that we talk. And finally, you have transformers. Now, transformer is the most advanced stage that we have learned up till now. Got it? So, statistical machine learning, neural network, recurrent neural network, and finally, you have transformers. Now, it's quiz time. What is the full form of GPT? Give me the answers. What is the full form of GPT? You all have used chat GPT. You all have used that multiple times. Just give me the answer. What is the full form of GPT? Okay. Once again, there. 1 second. Give me the answers in the chat box. Just a second. So what exactly is the full form of GPT? Write that in the chat box. What is the full form of GPT? Yes. What's the full form of GPT? Generate performing transformer. No. Generative pre-trained transformation. Okay. Let's check the answers. Generative pre-trained transformer. Yes. That's a perfect example of the answers. That is generative pre-trained transformers. That is the example of GPT. So what it is? It is generative pre-trained transformer. So it is a transformer that is pre-trained and is there to generate these output for you. Right? This is the example of a GPT, full form of GPT. Next, let's talk about the different kind of transformers we have. You have text to text transformer, you have text to image transformer, and you have text to video transformer. Right? So if you have the text to text transformers, what exactly is a text to text transformer? You're giving it a textual input and you're getting a textual output from it. Examples like bird and GPT are there to give you the exact same thing. The text to text transformers is bird and GPT. You're asking it a prompt like create me an article on Republic Day, or create me an article on perfumes, or create me an article on spices, right? And you're giving a textual input and you're getting a textual output for the same as well. That entire text format, that this is the article and all these things. So you have different transformer like this. You have bird, you have GPT, right? Then you have text to image transformers. We just use text to image transformer right now. One was DALL-E, one was Stable Diffusion. These are your image creation models. So if you give a prompt, like we gave a prompt that create me an image of an elephant sitting on top of a zebra, sipping tea in space, and all these things, right? You're giving it a textual input, and based on that, you're getting an image output for the same. That's a text to image transformer. You have DALL-E, you have Stable Diffusion, you have Mid Journey. Even in your phones, you have Meta AI, right? Everyone has their phone. You have WhatsApp. In your WhatsApp, you have Meta AI. right? So Meta AI is also working on Llama 3.2 model, 3.3 model. It is also an image creation model, right? So you can create images from that as well. Just try it out. That's an homework for you. Okay. You have Llama 3.2, you have Mid Journey, you have BERT, you have DALI, you have Stable Diffusion, you have uh, Knock, you have different models. So you can create these images. And finally, you have text to video transformer. That means if you're giving it a textual input, you're given textual prompt, and based on that, a video output is being created. Like, create me an image of a person running in the beach, running towards the ocean. There's a girl that is running in front of her. The sky is blue, and it's the birds are flying ahead. It's a beach house, and they look happy. And it's kind of like a romantic ending to the scene, right? So I've given it an entire scenic view. Now, based on that, it is going to create me a video output for the scene. That is the example of a text to video transform. The example is OpenAI Sora. There's OpenAI Sora, and that can create this entire thing for you. Got it? Next. Now, after learning all of this, you must be like, okay, is there any money in this field? Is there any money in this field or not? Okay. I'll tell you the simple answer that yes, there is money. There is money in this field. Okay. Okay. Then you must be like that. What exactly is the roadmap? Can you give me the roadmap? Before I tell you the roadmap, I'll tell you the condition as well that is happening. Anywhere there is data, there are going to be individuals for data analysts, data scientists, and these GenAI developers. They are going to be need for those people. Now, it's just that in India, right now, the data is being there. Right now, in the past 4 to 5 months, I've seen a transition in India for the reference of data and the jobs for these. What is happening is through these quick commerce industries like your Swiggy, Blinkit, Zepto, what they are doing is they're doing the quick commerce. Within 10 minutes, you're getting delivered. So they have a huge database. And if you check the jobs for data analysts, data scientists, and GenAI developers, you're going to see that these big companies are asking for data scientists, and these roles opportunities are being opened in Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit kind of companies, right? Because they have huge amount of data. And even you have your startups, right? These startups, they are also getting the data from somewhere, and they're actually hiring these data analysts, data scientists to find out the output for them, and they can utilize that output, right? So the thing is that yes, we are needing these things, and right now India, it is a slow pace, but it is developing. It is developing. Further countries like Silicon Valley, USA, and all these things already have these huge amount of data set, and they already have these things deployed. But in India, it is transitioning. So I'd say this is the right time to actually get inside the industry. Around 5 to 6 years, I don't know. 5 to 6 is a very huge number. Around 1 to 2 years, you're going to see the trends being increasing. If you already have the solid ground right now, then you can easily get transition to that field, and you can get a huge amount of money then. Right? So this field is lucrative. I'll tell you the roadmap. The roadmap is first of all you'll have to learn a programming language, and we are very focused on Python programming language, right? You have Python, you have R, but again, Python is a programming language that we are going to use. Why so? Python has a rich library base. It is very easy to write and all these things. But majorly, Python has a huge library base. Through that library base, you can do the manipulation, you can do the adjustment, you can do the data cleaning, data visualization. All these things can be done easily through this. Got it? So, basics of programming language in Python should be done. Then you need to know about the data structures in Python, like list, dictionary, tuple, all these things you should know. Then you have certain libraries for manipulation of the data. You have pandas, you have numpy. You should know these libraries for data manipulation. And then you have visualization libraries like Seaborn, Matplotlib. You should learn about that. Flask is just for deployment. Okay? After this, you have the basic machine learning algorithms. You should learn about basic stats. You should know about supervised, unsupervised, regression based, basic statistics, regression problem, classification, What is naive Bayes? What is KNN? What is RF trees? Clustering, DB scan, hierarchical scan. After that, you should have the concepts of NLP also known. What exactly is NLP? Why NLP? One hot encoding, bag of words, TF-IDF, word to vec, average word to vec. Then you're going to have your basic deep learning knowledge. What exactly is a neural network? What is ANN? What is forward propagation, backward propagation, activation function, loss function, optimizers? What are all these things? Then you're going to combine NLP and deep learning together. That is advanced NLP tutorial. So RNN, LSTM RNN, GREU RNN, bidirectional LSTM RNN, encoder decoder, attention to all, sequence to sequence, and finally you have transformers. Got it? If you're doing just these amount of things, you're good to go for a data scientist. You're good to go for a data scientist. Okay, and also these you have two specializations. You have NLP and OpenCV, image computer vision. So you just have to specialize in one of them. If you want, you can get a basic idea for both, but specializing in one of them is good enough. Done. After this through this you can develop as a data scientist. After this is your actual journey for generative AI. Okay, so you have to learn these things like OpenAI, how to use OpenAI, what is LangChain. Okay, so all the LLM models are being created on these LangChain. You have LangChain, LangGraph. All these things are the ways through which your uh, these models are being created. After that, you have Chainlit. It's where you can actually create these chatbots for your LLM models. Okay. Then you have Gemini. You should learn all these technologies. There are a lot of few technologies that I've not mentioned, but these are the few things that you need to learn. Then you have vector database and vector store. So different vector database like Chroma DB, Fies vector DB, Lance DB, Cassandra DB, and they're also dedicated for which one to use at what point. So if you have a dedicated vector database and you have an open source available, so these are your options. In this you might have a few names like PostgreSQL. You have heard the name of these, right? So all these are storing for vector database and vector stores. Now research over what exactly is a vector database and what exactly is a vector store. Okay, so data is being stored in the form of vectors, and we actually have to develop on that. So what exactly is that? Understand that. And finally, you have the deployment section, deployment of your LLM projects. You can deploy that on AWS, you have Azure, Langsmith, Langserve, then you have Hugging Face. You have a lot of options to actually do that. Now, after this, I'm open to questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And even if we are not able to ask me all the questions today, I'll do one thing. I'll share with you my LinkedIn ID, so that you can connect with me there and we can further continue the discussion if you need any help with me. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn ID, and in case you need this, you can further ask your questions there as well in case your questions are not answered today. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, you can ask me. Is it linked with DevOps? No, not exactly DevOps. It's a different thing. Not exactly with DevOps. No. In yesterday's session also I told you that you should have an idea of big data as well. Okay, so it's a good thing even that even if you're a data scientist you should have few things like you should learn about SQL. That means you should learn about how exactly you can manipulate a database. Database manipulation also should be known. Apart from that, you should know what exactly is big data as well. So technologies, you have huge amount of data now. So technologies like Apache Spark, Hadoop, all these things you should have a general idea of them because that leaves a little edge for you. Do you need to learn C++, Python, WebTech for coming in? No. For generative AI, you just need to learn about Python. You just need to learn about Python. That you'll be good to go. Okay. If in case these technologies are integrated in the future, which is very unlikely right now, because nowadays what is happening is that in case any new technology is coming, any new model is coming, the first thing that they are checking is it compatible with Python or not. So Python is already dominating in this market. You don't need C++, web dev, and right now all these things. Could be that in the future if they integrate these things, could be it's the case, but right now no. Any other questions? Anyone? Any other questions? Roadmap for data analytics. Okay. If you want the roadmap for data analytics, that is very easy. So initially you start with Excel. Okay. Initially you start with Excel. You start with Excel, then you follow a SQL. So you learn about databases. Then you start with Python. So in Python as well, you have to figure out a lot of things like what is Python, the basics of Python, basic data structures of Python, and then you further enhance your knowledge through library ways. So you, what exactly is a library? What are the different libraries like your Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all these is different libraries. And finally, you have a visualization tool like a Power BI or Tableau, BI tools, business intelligence tool. So these are the few things that you need to know. And after that, if you're done with that, you're good to go for data analyst. DSS needed for GenAI. Right now, the thing is that if you go to these big companies, they're actually they have a round for DSA. Not these small companies, but these big fan companies I'm talking about. They are holding uh, an interview round for DSA. Why exactly DSA? DSA not for asking you that do you know about stack, do you know about queue? No, they're just checking your logical ability skills. So because again in this field of data science and data analyst and Gen AI, you should have an idea of what exactly you should have good problem solving skills, good logical ability skills, right? They are checking that through your DSA rounds. Through your DSA rounds, they're giving you a question and they're checking that if you have do you have a solid rigid one way of solving it or do you have multiple ways and are you clear on those concepts? So based on that, they're checking your logical ability. Okay. Uh, Rashtriya Bharaj. Okay. So through that they are doing this. So DSA is somewhat important if you're actually targeting these big fan companies. Vineet Sharma connecting for LinkedIn. I am doing MCA in AI from LPU. Guide me for it. I'm transitioning from sales to marketing. Finance. Okay, so you are from LPU. Okay, I'm actually traveling to LPU by for a hackathon there in 23rd, 24th. I hope I can meet you there. Okay, so um the transition would that you are if you are from the non-tech background, if you're not from the non-tech background Vineet, then you'll have to learn a few things. You'll have to learn exactly the coding principles. If you have the idea of coding, then that's good. So start with Python programming language. Okay, what exactly is Python programming language? As I mentioned, study the entire structure of data analytics first. That will help you develop your logical abilities for which kind of data set, what kind of ideas should I go with. That will help you build your logical ability. So the roadmap of data analytics: Excel, SQL, Python, and Tableau, Power BI, whatever is visualization tool. First, you can skip Excel if you want. SQL, Python, and a visualization tool. That's good enough for beginners, even if you're transitioning from a non-tech background. Okay, learn about this. Then you can further transition your knowledge for data science, like what exactly is supervised learning, what is unsupervised, what are different techniques that you have, right? All these things. And further, you can once you're done with the data science, then you can actually transition into your portion of generative AI. Okay, so the entire roadmap is present. It's just that you should have an appetite to learn and be continuous in this field because, again, in this field you're going to forget a lot of things if you don't remember it correctly. I hope that answered your question, Vinny. Okay, so we are running a little late. Okay, now uh, that's it for today. Okay, yes, SQL, Python visualization tools. First that we need, and then actually go for learning the data science portion. What exactly is supervised, unsupervised, and all these things. This will help you build a strong fundamentals. Okay, and based on that, you'll actually have no problem. You'll have little to no difficulty in your data science and further journeys. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you everyone for joining and listening to my rant for the past 1 hour. Okay, and I hope you, even if one of you individual have found something important, that is very helpful for me. So I hope you had something, you learned something from this. Okay, and I'll see you in the next live. Okay, and we'll pick up some interesting topic, so that we can actually use that for our further things. So I'll see you then, okay, with a new idea, with a new topic. And if I have continuous sessions, we can start with the topic as well, right? So we need, could be that I'm starting with a, I'm telling not right now, not sure about that. I'll check my bandwidth. If it's possible, then I'll start with the Python basics. So I'll take an entire sessions of Python for free. Okay, so let's plan for the best, and I'll see you in the next slide. Okay, thank you everyone, thank you.